Servite has three primary programs that develop the leadership potential of our student athletes and our students. Her Servant's Kitchen, Trinity Corporation, and the Priory Leadership Council. This year we feature the Priory Leadership Council in this short video, if you'll turn your attention to the screens.
The world tells us that we need strong leaders, and they are looking for leaders. But I don't know of anyone who is trying to develop what is leadership and teaching people what it is and teaching them how to lead. What we have here at Servite is a Priory program where we do just that.
So the basic structure of the Priory Leadership Program is that we've divided the whole school into 8 priories, or houses, of about 100 to 120 students each. There's a senior prior in charge of each one of those priories, and then he selects 5 junior or senior assistant priors. And each one of those student leaders has his own homeroom of about 15 students each. So that leaves us with 40 assistant priors. One of the goals that we had at the outset of the program was to create a program that really allowed the maximum number of students possible to be involved and to truly get experience leading.
We can call ourselves a fraternity, and we do. But a fraternity is really the quality of relationships that we have. That's what makes it meaningful. So if we're going to build those relationships, it only makes sense that we're going to do so in a way where we can focus on the individuals.
In Priory, you have a chance to use activities and use discussions to dive into what it means to be a leader. And what it means to be a leader, especially for us at Servite, is to serve your brothers. And I think that that's something really powerful when you turn leadership from something that's all about serving me to something that serves you.
It allows, out of the normal class day, the opportunity to put students in a position where they can hold each other accountable, become teachers, mentors, exchange ideas, interact with different walks of life.
Leadership is really just the blossoming of formation. Because if a young man is well formed, leadership's going to come naturally. Because the fact that he's well formed means that he's working in concert with who God created him to be. And when we talk to our graduates who come back, who have been through the program, I think it's the fact that they are comfortable making that act of faith because they've faced the unknown, because they've dealt with that blank canvas. That's what they find is their strength.
I find myself, every time I hold a leadership position for an organization, whether it's for the company that I'm interning with, or just student organizations on campus, I'm teaching these people about leadership lessons and leadership aspects that could better the organization. And I got all that from Servite.
I saw all these leaders and they explained the Priory program to us, and I saw these leadership in Priory and assistant priors and the prior general and all of them, just amazing guys with a ton of energy, and it was infectious. You just wanted to be a part of it. And then eventually I became the prior general of Servite, which was a huge thing for me, and it was just amazing because especially where I'd come from, being an 8th grader, 7th grader, to becoming the leader of my school, I never would have imagined that being possible, but I guess anything's possible at Servite.
The mission of Servite is to form faithful leaders, and more than anything here, the Priory Leadership Program definitely fosters this goal. Personally, I came into Servite not especially strong in my faith, and through Priory and through Servite, I am coming out a man of God, and I'm much stronger in my faith, and I'm a much better leader because of Priory.
We're part of something very, very special, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome the prior of Alexis Priory, Chris Lembo, from the class of 2016. Chris was recognized in this month's Parenting Orange County Magazine as an exemplary student leader. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Lembo.
Hello, everyone. My name is Chris Lembo. I am a senior at Servite, and my biggest fear is public speaking. One of my favorite TV shows is America's Got Talent, and this one girl who auditioned, her act was jumping out of a plane. And in her interview, she talked about how her biggest fear was heights, and so she started jumping out of planes. I guess this is sort of why I engage in public speaking. I fear it, but I know I will overcome it the more I do it. My second fear is also heights, which is why my graduation present this year is going skydiving. I am 18 years old. I live with my mom, dad, 17-year-old sister, 14-year-old brother, and a beautiful golden retriever. I'm involved in a number of things at Servite. I am the Alexis Prior. I'm the co-president of a student-run homeless diner called Benici's Diner. I'm a varsity volleyball and basketball athlete, and I'm the president of a club I started at Servite called SIGN, standing for Service in God's Name, to help those with developmental disabilities. Thank you. I can definitely say that Servite has changed me. When I was in 8th grade, I could have never imagined doing the things I'm doing today. I was not involved in anything. My grades were average, yet I was still very convinced that I was going to be a professional basketball player in the NBA. Servite has changed my whole outlook on the world, beginning with the way I view leadership. At Servite, we are taught to live our lives by 4 formation themes: the centrality of Christ, the primacy of faith, mastery of self, and the necessity of the other. Leadership is simply the flowering of formation, and Priory is the principal vehicle by which we learn this practice of leadership. Today, I'm going to focus on the last 2 themes and how they have shaped my life. My goal for this brief speech is not to tell my success stories and talk about my achievements. My goal is to talk about leadership. So instead of telling a success story, I'll talk about a time when I failed. About mid-last year, I was suspended from school for 2 days. I was playing a game with a friend. I lost the game, and as a punishment, he got to send any text he wanted from my phone. Well, this text resulted in my suspension from school, the basketball team, and Priory. Up to this time, I had never even had a detention in my entire life, let alone a suspension. My immediate thought was that all my hard work over the past 3 years had completely gone to waste. I let my suspension consume me, and I honestly did not know how I was going to maneuver through all of this. Eventually, I realized that I couldn't live the way I was. I turned to God. My prayer life became a lot more serious, and Servite kept me grounded in my faith. Servite gave me the opportunities to practice my faith daily, and it kept me connected to what really matters in life. My classmates picked me up, and I relied a lot on them when I first returned to school. They showed me what necessity of the other really meant. Brotherhood is one of the building blocks of this school, and it really is what got me through my struggle. I knew the best way to show I was a leader was to stop whining about my problems and to go fix them myself. I needed to admit my mistake, address the problem, and conquer it. In Priory, we are taught that failure is a common reality, and good leaders address it head on. I wasn't afraid to talk about my situation. I messed up, but I learned from it, and it was my job to teach others how not to make the same mistake. It was also my job to stay as involved with Priory as I could, because I knew that I now had more to offer than I ever did before. I became more involved in community service, spending every weekend volunteering for hours to help anywhere I could. At the end of the school year, I was even named the City of Anaheim Youth of the Year 2015 for my volunteer work and community leadership. Thank you. Thank you. Today, I am more deeply engaged in the leadership component of Priory. I am a captain of the basketball team, and my top choices of college are Notre Dame, Duke, and Stanford. Priory helps me grow as a leader every day. And through being a prior, I am able to connect to so many students and teach them the way that Priory has taught me. I'm glad that everything happened the way it did. In fact, I really wouldn't change anything. I was taught priceless lessons about leadership, decision-making, mastery of self, and necessity of the other that I will cherish forever. Once again, I did not tell this story so that you would pity me or think highly of me. I told it to show how one can turn a failure into a success, to show how vital it is to have relationships with people who will be there to pick you up, to show how important it is to practice faith, and lastly, to show leadership. A leader is revealed when he gets punched in the mouth and beaten down. It is natural temptation to stay down, but a true leader believes, gets back up, rallies himself and those around him to the attack. It is very obvious from the commentary in our media that we have a leadership vacuum. I may not know much about politics, but I do know that in listening to these presidential debates, that they are very expressive of the weaknesses in leadership in our society. I know many of you are important business executives, business owners, and community leaders, and I hope none of you take this as conceit, but I think Servite is preparing the type of people you want in your business. Through Priory, we study the practice of leadership, not just the theory of it. Servite develops men who actually know how to lead and have experience leading. As an assistant prior of the Priory program, you have a 1-hour block of time each week that you have to stand at the front of the class and teach your fellow classmates about leadership and its qualities. I don't know of any other high school program that implements a practice of leadership that even remotely resembles that of the Priory program. This is part of the reason why Servite is so unique. At Servite, we are trying to form leaders of integrity, truth, and self-mastery. We are striving for perfection. Servite has prepared the types of performers you want to work with in your business endeavors. A Servite man knows how to balance between school, sports, and extracurriculars. He knows that striving for perfection can only be achieved through his failures. He knows how to lead. You want leaders, and Servite provides about 200 of them every single year. Thank you.